lowest ISO, fantastic. You can do right in, you can see individual hairs, it's fantastic. There's in comparison, this is one of the highest settings my camera had. Indoors, like this is the best I could do. I was like, alright, ultra sensitivity, you've lost all that detail. But the photo's still alright. It depends what you're going to do. It depends what kind of photo it is. If it's going to go into colour range, it's going to be like, oh, then you want it to be really low noise. If it's like, it's just a photo, it was someone going, la, putting a stupid face, you don't care about noise. So there's reasons for each. Sometimes it's the only way you can get a photo. There's no light in this room. And you can tell me, people got it out of focus, and there's noise everywhere, but I got a photo. I proved I was there. It is tricky. And this is magical. This is dark science going on over here. You've got one of these inside your lens that goes, it's like kind of like something like Star Trek The Line. It has values. And these values are backwards. Bastards. This is because it is a fraction of the length between your camera lens and your sensor divided by the size of the small hole in the middle. Expressed in powers of root 2. So, pretty much, where it says F, that means 1. So
is this going to be a test?
Yes. If you know this, basically, no, you don't need to know this. You just need to know that there are numbers and they do magical things, but because I learned this on Wikipedia the other day. So basically, when it says F2, that's actually 1 over 2, that's a half F. So the bigger it is, the smaller the hole. Bastards. That's all you need to know. Root 2 is changing the whole thing. There is maths, ignore that, that's always great, ignore that. Here's the scale. But basically this is here because these are numbers. 1, 1.4, 2, 2.8. Where did these numbers come from? That's where, don't care. Now I know I don't care. Until then I wondered. So there you go. Every time you stop down one, so you go to 1 to 1.4, you have halved the light in your camera. 2, halved it again. So between there and there, that's 512 times less light in your camera. Pretty crazy. The other effect of this is the smaller the hole, the more sharp things will be. In a kind of interesting sense. You've got what's called depth of field. Now, people use this a lot in the definition of it. And this is, if you focus on something, so if I look at someone across the room, they're what I'm focusing on, and there is a field between them, around them, where everything I can see is in focus. And I'll check. I'm trying to remember which slide I can talk about this on. Okay, so you can kind of see here, I mean obviously, the smaller it is, the less light, but also up here, kept in the background, out of existence. But here, oh, she's not. That's pretty cool. And the maths comes into play, you can see kind of like, oh look, I've halved the light, and oh, I had to double the light. Man, maths works. Science works. And here's how to get it wrong. So obviously, there's a car in the background, that's crap, but I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, oh, I can get lower numbers than normal, fantastic. New lens, yay. Focused on Ellie's face here. Andy, what the hell? Fantastic photo. But obviously here she's very far away because we're trying to go for the height thing. But here they're right next to each other. Okay, the reason is, the closer you are to what you're focusing on, the smaller your depth of field. This is really hard for me to get across. Except I've kind of had this vague idea of basically, if you hold your fingers up, rock out, and you hold them like this. If you sort of hold them there, you can see, you can focus on the first finger, see the second one. Fair enough. Do it there. Whoa, blood out of existence. That's pretty much the solution there. So largely, if you've got these two solutions, lower your shrink your aperture down, or get the hell back and zoom in. That's all there is to it. Science! Basically, if you really felt like it, you could mathematically work out how to balance them. Yay. There's like this rule which I'm reminding myself down here, that someone says like, if you're at aperture 16, then your ISO will be the same as your shutter speed, so 100 will be 100. That's nice.
You make a little slide rule.
Yeah, pretty much. You can sit there and calculate it out and go, excuse me, I'm just going to have to work this out. Or you can change the styles until it works. What is it? And so here's the stuff. ISO brighter, everything else brighter, but there's a downside to all of them. Your light has to come from somewhere, but you have to make a sacrifice. And so largely what the idea is, you take the picture and you go, what's wrong with it? If someone's too blurry, then your aperture will increase, or you take the other way. It's blurred because of movement, your shutter speed needs to go down, needs to increase. And then you have to recover the light from somewhere else. That's pretty much the basics of all photography. And here's the numbers, here's the scary pictures. And basically what's what? There's your shutter speed. It's the biggest number. It's always going to be the biggest number there, just in your face. Shutter speed. Aperture's always going to have an F in front of it, pretty much, except for on my crappy camera there. Over here you have a look at compact camera. They don't tell you anything. It basically, it's all automatic. Any automatic mode will pretty much just work this out for you. Just go, I'm not even going to tell you yet. So compact cameras are, jeering you. They go, you don't need to know this. Too important for you, too science you wouldn't understand. ISO will pretty much always have ISO rating. You've also got advanced, which I'll get onto, which is the colour of light. And they have exposure. Now, what is the exposure? Was three things. Well, as I said, it's one thing now. And it's this scale that you will see a lot, completely unmarked with -2, +2, all these things. Plus, -2 what? What exactly? It is the exposure meter. Now, I came from a compact camera, one of these, and basically found out it's a bit different. So I got this, and I'm going, it's moving by itself. How do I control it? Everyone's looking at me going, control it. What are you talking about? It's a meter. When you point your camera at something, this will tell you. It basically says, I'm very scientific. It will point to someone and basically say, at 0, I reckon that is perfectly exposed. I reckon they're bright, the background's bright, all is cool. This is assuming the camera knows what it's talking about. The rest of the time it doesn't. But it's a good guess. If it says, these are the stops, the whole doubling like that, it thinks this is twice as bright as it should be. It's 4 times as bright as it should be. 1 and 2, 2 and 4, great. Cheers, guys. Half as bright as it should be, quarter. Basically, at the end of the day, get it on 0, you should be fine. If it's then not good, you're going to have to work around that. On a compact camera, it's a bit different. It's a setting, because again, everything's auto. It's going to go, well, I know where I reckon 0 is. I'm trying to take a picture there. You don't get a say in it. Though I do, actually. And you get to basically kind of say, don't aim for 0, aim for 1. And this is pretty much how you get most of the photos from a compact camera. Because it's pretty much most of the things you can change is this. You can say, no, don't aim for 0. You don't know what you're talking about. Aim for 1. You're too dark. That's a problem. Okay. I know it's a projector, but I'm going to try and cover it anyway. You need to know M for manly, there you go. That's all you need. Everything else. But on a compact camera, some of these are kind of, they're settings that kind of will guess for you. I mean, these have them as well, but they're more for people who just bought it going, I'm going to buy the biggest camera I can, and I don't understand the numbers. Yeah. But again, it's going to guess for you. It's not you taking the photo, the camera is. As much sense as that makes. But largely, get out your manual and figure out most of these things. Flowers mean macro, person's face means portrait. There's actually a great thing on new cameras called beauty mode, where there's actually a kind of mini copy of Photoshop built into the camera. I think it's hilarious. It will detect your eyes and make them bigger. Take your skin and smooth it. However, I've used face detect, which usually just kind of goes, there's a face, I will focus on that, my aperture will be there, it'd be great. And sometimes it just sees a wall and goes, I think there's a face there. And see those cameras, take a picture and they go, I think there's a face there. Enlarge the eyes and then put it, smooth it, take a picture, and there'll be this face. I want to be there when that happens.
It's really confused that you're trying to take macro photos of dead snakes.
I can imagine. There's a smiley face. Okay. One very important button, the one that takes the picture. And the reason I have a slide dedicated to this one button is no one knows how to use it, which is amazing. It's the one that takes the picture. On nearly every camera other than a mobile phone camera, even a little camera like this thing is about 8 years old, even these cameras, the button has 2 stages, half press, full press. I see a lot of people pick up even the simplest of cameras, even their own camera, and go, and actually push the camera and do that with it. I'm like, what? It is incredibly sensitive, it's practically hair sensitive. Half press, full press. But I see people go, it's not taking the picture. What the half press is for is to say, do all your calculations, get them out of the way, look at what's going on and go, all that gets out of the way. So what you can do is half press, okay, just figure it out, then you wait for the moment, then you press the rest of the way, it will take the picture. If you haven't done that, and you just go, it's going to have to do all that calculation while you're waiting. It's like, they're doing this amazing thing, they're throwing a ball in the air, it's amazing, I've never seen them do that before. Take the picture, take the picture, take the goddamn picture. So half press, which is the way. And there are many reasons for this. Don't hold it like that. I don't know how you can, if you hold it like that, I'll be very impressed. Telling someone how to hold a camera seems a bit kind of like taking a piss, really. But there are many ways. A lot of the reason is to basically minimise the camera shake I mentioned earlier. If you want to become a human tripod, then people kind of say you should hold the camera like this. Hold your arm. Don't hold the camera with both arms like. That's what the internet told me to do. At least it's on the internet. But the reason I do this is the little cameras like this, because there's no weight to them. It's not holding yourself down. And a lot of people will just do that and shake all over the place, because these things are really bad with low light, and they're all just going to go, I'm going to hold the camera open for ages and go everywhere. I hold it like this. I'm very weird in that, and everyone recognised me by that when I had this camera. Everyone was just, I was in full costume, no one recognised me. I do that. You. No one else is weird enough to hold the camera like that. The other thing is basically hold your arms in like that. And most people say hold your breath. Other people say breathe out. Hold your breath, and breathe out, and take a picture. Meanwhile, this may vary, but there are basically ways to steady yourself and get the picture up sharp.
Or you can buy a tripod.
Or you can buy a tripod. So that's just like, you know, you're in a bar and it's like, oh, that picture's, that would be a great picture. Okay, if you are staring down the lens of one of these, you will see this arcane symbol of death. And it will appear on people's faces and say, this person will have a photo taken in the next minute. Or something like that. This is basically points of focus. The more expensive your camera, the more of these will be. I think like the most expensive camera has like 100 of these. Usually they will all be lit up to going, I will pick one for you. It'll be fantastic. I'll see someone's face and I'll go, I'll focus there today. That'll be great. Personally, I say, no, you will center focus in the center. Always. And the reason I do that is because then you control where it's going to focus. I took a picture on automatic and it went, I like feet. It's pretty good. But the camera, the whole person there, yeah, foot's closest. And it's a foot, it's pretty good. Very creepy. It's a very bad moment between me and my camera. If you've got it in this mode, and you say, right, center dot, you point at his face, half press. Does all its settings, and he goes, okay, I'll focus on your face, fine. Move it back, press the rest of the way. And that is incredibly useful for nearly everything. One of the best things to do is, if you're not sure, if you're having problems with it, is always focus on someone's eyes, basically. That's the thing that most people notice if it is not in focus. If their face is slightly out of focus, it's kind of pretty, that's a pretty thing. If their eyes are out of focus, you idiot. You took the focus wrong. So aim at someone's face. And also, I mean, if I always have it in the centre because I'm versatile and I never want to be in the next second. If you're always taking portrait photos, you might have it on this dot, have your camera up there, and then it's closer to their face, and you have to move your camera less. Your choice, pretty much. On compacts, and for other things, basically if you have any kind of auto mode, then sometimes you've got this meter and you'll be going, yeah, I reckon zero's there, that's pretty good. You know, no, that's stupid. What are you doing? And something's confusing, there could be a bright TV on in the background or something. It will get confused. One way around this, it's a point where you do think something's moving, and it's usually you point for the face. Other times, if something's really bright, something's really dark, you want to point for something in the middle. Sometimes there's nothing in the middle, and that's really annoying. But basically, you're pretty much saying, this is what you should be metering on, this is what should be the middle. And then you find where zero is, you change the settings until you hit zero, and then you go back to where you were, and you just ignore it. You go, shut up, I don't know what you're talking about.